Broadcast live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to SlikourOnLife. My name is Sabelom Kabela, and I'm chilling here with PH. Brother, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
I'm trying my best. Happy 40th and 50th. How do you feel about that?
I feel good to be here to experience it and to reach this milestone. You know, it's been a long 40 years for some people, long 20 years for some people, long 5 years for some people. But to make it to 50 it's a great thing. It's a great feat.
And you're part of the BET Cypher, celebrating 50 years, 40 years of hip hop, and very, very special moment using your beat for Tswa Daar. Tell us about the curation of the Cypher and the cats that you got on there.
When I was told to do this thing, I was quite excited. First and foremost, I wanted to make sure I use my own beats, not any international beats at this point. But at the same time, I didn't want to use a new beat. I thought, because of 50 years, just take a beat that's been around at least for 20 years, 10, 15 years now, and that started a lot of careers. Khuli, Chana, a.k.a. Ice Prince has been on that beat. So something that has done a lot for South African and African hip-hop. So the artists that I picked were artists that I feel are really about to take over the next 5 years, from this year to next year. Tyson Sybateli's done well this year. To introduce himself into the game. Badoo is going to be the baddest female rapper. And Mochen really is the next Khuli, Chana, the next HP, the next whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's the idea.
Let's go back to that beat. First time I heard it was on Alter Ego, and it was just a skit, like it was just playing on the background. And then next thing we know, Khuli has a smash on it. How long has this beat been around?
It's been around for a while. I think I made it and I put it away. Then AK always loved it. That's why I used it for Alter Ego. But he didn't want to rap on it. He just loved the beat. So I used it for the Alter Ego situation. But how it came about, I don't remember how I made it because I made it and I put it away. But when Khuli came to the studio, he came amped up just to want to rap. So I knew that's the beat you just want to rap on. There's not a lot happening. You just jump on it and rap on it. And that's how Tswa Daar was made. It was a freestyle pretty much. It wasn't something he was planning to make a song out. It was a freestyle. Then AK heard it. He said, that is the song. And then we made a song out of it pretty much. That's how we came.
And are there any other rappers that you played that beat for before, except for AKA and Khuli and Notzi, I guess?
No, I actually just played it for AK and Khuli. AK was not for him to have it, just playing it, but Khuli for him to rap on it. So nobody else really heard that beat before. No.
I want to talk about something completely off topic. You are one of the first guys to recognize A-Reece. You worked on him on the Brownies EP. Can you tell us about just when you met him and how did it make you feel, and also just the decision of you working with him?
Man, meeting that kid was an instant. I know what I'm dealing with. I was introduced by him by his brother. You guys, Jay Jody. You guys know him as Jay Jody. Then there was still this XLR before they were benchmarked on XLR. They used to produce. So they used to bring beats to me and bring me their songs now and then. But I guess at the time I wasn't really responsive. Then they picked that up. Then they said, okay, there's someone else that you need to listen to. They brought, A-Reece to my studio right after school. He was right, I was listening like 2 o'clock after school. They brought him here to the studio. I don't think he rapped more than 3 bars or 4 bars. And I was like, that's it. Put him there. I signed him the same day. I'm like, I'm signing you. I didn't even know how to sign artists, but I was like, I'm signing you. So we started working from there. We built a brotherhood with him and his family. I got to know his family, his mom and dad, RIP to his dad. And that's how we built. And that's how A-Reece became A-Reece.
And PH Raw X, your studio, it has that very distinct writing on the wall. I think it's one of the most famous studio walls in SA, actually. Yeah, bro, like whenever somebody takes a photo there, I'm like, I know where you are. You've recorded everybody there. There's a story I heard from JR. He was like, there was a time you were recording MI and JR brought Burna Boy to the studio, and you're like, bruh, I'm busy recording MI. You know, he's my. It's been my long time dream to work with him. But you ended up actually going back to Burna Boy. Can you tell us about just meeting Burna and what you thought of him then and what you think of him now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's how I met Burna through JR. He brought him to the studio at the time. Then I don't know if it was the same period or the same time, but I think maybe a couple of days later, me and JR went to meet another guy at the hotel. But what's his name? Burna Boy was also there. So when we went to meet this guy, he decided to call Burna to come chill with us. Me and Burna just immediately clicked because of weed smoking and all this kind of stuff, you know. So we immediately clicked in. Then we became really good friends. I mean, I would pretty much pick him up at the airport every time he comes to Joburg, go to the studio and start working. But yeah, that's how our friendship kind of developed. Then he met everybody, like the AKAs and the Dalets, and that happened. But how I feel about it, I think it's exactly what he said it was going to happen. So this album, as he's saying, I Told You So, he's been speaking it exactly like this since then. Like, he's gonna rule the world, he's gonna be the greatest ever, Michael Jackson of Africa, all the things you want to mention, he mentioned that word for word. So when I see it now, it's like, wow, you really did it, you really did it. So I'm proud of it, you know. I'm proud of him, and yeah, I can't wait to see him again. Yeah.
What's PH working on this year? What can we expect from you?
I'm back to artist development again, in the sense of trying to find new artists, especially the loss of so many artists in the last 3 years. You know, I felt the need to go back into the bag and find not replacements, but people that we can start looking up to again. You know, losing AKA, Ricky, Costa Titch, there was levels of losses, you know, on other levels, you know, from young kids, old guys. Hip hop was really dismantled at that point. So I felt it was important that we do introduce new faces, new talent, that'll give us more energy and look forward to the future of hip hop. So that's my goal in the next couple of years. Working as an A&R at Ziki Media. So still producing, but I'm very expensive, as you know, so I don't produce for anybody. So yeah, I keep that to myself and the artists that I choose. So shout out to Tyson Sybateli. I think he's got it a good run. I think he's gonna be the king of South African hip hop, no doubt about it. Money Badoo, she's a female rapper that I think is gonna hold on to especially the colored culture, the female color culture, which has never been entertained when it comes to hip hop. I think she's gonna run that, and then pretty much the new Double HP, the new Khuli Chana, the new Momi Lima's machine, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So it's the new future.
Last question is probably gonna be the last question. Tell us about the most iconic albums that were recorded at PH Raw X.
Lost in Time. It's kind of Republic. I mean, really the best albums in South Africa. Really, Lost in Time, kind of Republic, and Alter Ego.
How did you become that guy?
I invested in myself. I used to work 9 to 5 when I was doing Tswa Daar and producing Khuli Chana's album. For 2 years, I was working 9 to 5 to 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing studio, 6 o'clock go to work. So for 2 years, I did that, taking my own money from work and investing into the studio and building the studio. I knew I had to have something to sell in beats. You know, I mean, like a place where people can actually come. You know, I used to go around the biggest studios. They were too big and too much rules. They didn't really accommodate hip hop artists. You know, because hip hop artists have a certain culture when they're in the studio. So I wanted a space where hip hop was a home for hip hop, pretty much. So I invested in the studio. My parents helped me build that, and that was that.
I can go on forever and ever, but thank you so much for your time, bro. Peace, everybody.
Broadcast live